What's up, everyone? Hole 9 here. We're on for the War of I-4 Showdown. And gonna be doing some more holes here. And why don't we just, I've been really switching between a lot of different options. So let's go ahead and just equip this. And another thing that I have here is a Bigfoot line that I like to sometimes shoot for. If I was to pull down here, that looks like pretty good right there. Keep in mind I'm going to need a little bit extra, so we're going to do that. This is just a good way for you to stay within club's range. Couple different options. I usually don't use Bigfoot much, but I just kind of want to maybe mix it up and just kind of have a mixed bag here. See if I was able to get it in range. I'm more of a lightning rod guy, especially on winds like this, that you can be very aggressive. In fact, you already saw that I was able to drop that stroke there with lightning rod on the front 9. This is what, about 2 rings from min, give or take. Another thing is I'm not 100% sure how this is breaking. A lot of times I'll use the ball guide to help me. It's about 3 rings from max now. The other thing that I might need to start doing is taking off some of the backspin because we're going to be pushing up so much towards max. I'm thinking something like this. This is about 3 rings from max as well. Pro D1 ball. Switch our clubs up like I mentioned. Now this is a 10. We got this up to a 10 now. Let's go ahead and update that. 8-2, 3 for max, 3 for min, I mean. Right around here. 8-6-7. And then, this is kind of same similar type of angle that I mentioned where you just kind of gotta cheat it just a little bit, ever so slightly. Little inside on your pull angle. Because the intensity that you're going is so much stronger pointed straight to the... So we need to pull our rings more to the north and less to the east in this case. So that's more or less what we're trying to do. And when the wind's this direction, I do it, it was just so gently. In fact, that was still even too much, you could see. But this is more or less what we're looking at. We're a cup, maybe two cups outside edge. But you can see what I did with my spin. It checked up perfect. We're right in there tight. Just needed to get, I could have been just a little bit straighter with the pull angle. But this is just something that you get from experience. The more that you play, you're going to be able to nail it. So why not for this one? We'll play a little bit more aggressive. That's what you can see I'm doing here. Anytime you can get up to wedge range, that's kind of a nice spot. That's more or less what we're going to try to do. 3-4. We'll just size this up. A lot of times on these short ones, I have a decision to make. Are we going to go straight on? Maybe take off some of the spin, or are we going to try to go in from the backside? I think with this one, a lot of times I make the decision on the fly depending on how, are we talking 70% club? Are we talking 50% club? How far are we? That's definitely a motivating factor. So this looks like 67%, 68%. Keep in mind, we're going to have to crowd the ball guide a little bit too. Otherwise, it's going to come up short. Keep in mind, it's always going to be compressing down in winds like this. This is going to be 67, 68%, 2.7, 2.6, somewhere in that range. You can see what my ball guide looks like. But keep in mind, like I mentioned, it's going to collapse down, so that's why we're being so aggressive with the ball guide here. Let's just go right here. Like I mentioned, 2.6, 2.7. And right into the cup. So as you guys can see, very easy. Good opportunity for you guys to stay aggressive. Be able to get some of those tiebreakers up. Best of luck on that hole, guys. And let's take a look at 12 coming up. And again, like I mentioned, just staying fairly aggressive with these balls is really going to help your scoring. So if you're really struggling with your rounds, two important things, understand how much the ball guide's going to change, really expanding and learning that, but also using the special balls. Like anytime that I have, an 80% ball on, I feel like I can make the shot. So that's what we're trying to do. Here you can see this one's a lot more towards max. So, and like I mentioned, sometimes I'll play this little hook shot. Usually I will. I'm not 100% convinced that it's going to hook, because it's a little slight tailwind, but I think it will. So what I'll typically do is crowd the ball guide here, because I know it's going to stretch out still, and I'll just try to gently bring this in backdoor. So 3.7 wind. Let's just get this percentage down. 94. Let's pull up the 94, 93, 94. I just pulled the thing. Want it pretty much right on the hole, because it's going to stretch out, but I don't want it to stretch out a lot, just a little. And as you can see, 4.6. And I think this is the min that I need to go, is 4.6. So keep it in mind, especially if you get that hook going just right. You can see I had the ball guide going pretty much dead straight back. Going just a little over is not going to kill us here. Because if we get that hook right, what's going to happen is it's just going to come in, it's going to be right edge, and then as soon as it hits the right edge, it's going to suck back just a little bit to the left. Just a little bit too much, but you can see what I'm doing there? You see how I'm doing that with the left hook? I'm trying to get that hooking to the left, and that's exactly what it was doing there. I just got just a little too aggressive. I should have just kept it right on the 4.60. Because I went 4.7 just to be a little heavy. I also thought it was going to be a little bit deeper. So the fact that it didn't quite get as much behind the hole contributed to it looking visually more right. If it would have been deeper, it would have cut more to the left. And that's exactly the type of shot that I was trying to play. So let's go at this one. Anytime it's par 5 situation, definitely going to recommend using up some better balls. You want to keep those tiebreaker high. So when we're talking Pro D1s, if you are trying to be on a budget, the best times to do it is, times where you're not going to be affected too much with your ball, with your tiebreaker. This hole specifically, this is a perfect opportunity for you to get more aggressive and keep that tiebreaker high. So you can see there's where max club is on the Viking. Of course, if I do switch, and I was thinking about switching, go to Route 7 here. Also keep in mind, doing this, you're going to have a little bit different scenario here. Because Max club's going to be here. That's not enough. We're going to have to go back to the Viking. So didn't quite get it, you know, and this is where you guys can utilize those little bit of extra yards are really going to come and really help you out. And you can just measure and just see, you know, this is about 2.3 rings from max. And let's just use this as our reference point. So about 2.3, you guys can use this to just kind of change your alignment. .07. Just a little bit beyond. 2 on the rings. So it's coming in nice, coming in real nice. I was hoping that the momentum would take that just a little bit to the left. But these are just little tiny tweaks that need to be made with the spin. So, I mean, we're talking, you know, just little fractional. It obviously had to be breaking just slight right, because for that to not, you know, utilize just a little bit more action, it just kind of shows. So let's see what we can do. And, you know, like I mentioned on these are really good opportunities to utilize practice for. You know, and I'm even thinking barchetta, a little bit extra on the side spin. The only thing I'm worried about, and this is another good thing to test, is we can do a practice here just to test, to make sure. Let's see how close this comes up to the right, to the rough here. So full hook, we just want to see, and we're judging, you know, where's the first bounce? It's not that close to the fairway, but we made it to the fairway. But what this tells us is, when we actually hit this shot, and, you know, another thing that we can do is we can just play this shot. Let's play this out real quick and just see how much did the wind take it. And the easiest way is just put this ball guide kind of right in front of the hole here. You can see where I am depth-wise. And then a lot of times what I'll do, 17.6, we'll just go one ring. You know, super small adjustment here. But we're just using this as a reference. So you can see this is how much we're pointed this much to the right. And we just see, is this enough? You know, and we're just judging. And you can see it's not. So that was probably about halfway there. So if we get back to a similar spot, we can make the tink. We can tinker around with this and hopefully get the drop. So this is just another great way for you guys to be able to utilize practice here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get aggressive, even though the wind's larger. We know it wasn't that close to the fairway, so I don't have to worry about the fairway. And also keep in mind, this drive that I just hit here is closer than I just was. So since I'm closer than I just was, it's not going to break quite as much. But it gives you an idea, that last shot, and we're just going to try to make just visually small changes. So let's just try this right here, see what it looks like. And like I mentioned, this is going to be free for you guys to just make slight tweaks. And you can see what my ball guide looked like. We're able to get 898. Very easily could have made that one. So that's the difference between using practice and not using practice. It's a very nice way for you guys to be able to take advantage and get a nice shot there. And if you guys want to really fine tune, you can just say, oh, you know, 30, you know, you could really size it up. You could have did this. And you could have said, you know, I was 33% and really analyze that spot. So keep all that in mind. Very close to Bigfoot max here. So one of the things that I like to do, go lightning rod. Anytime I'm close to that Bigfoot, we just swap out. Pro D ball. Keep in mind that when we're going Pro D, this is going to be a tough shot. Crosswind, lot of wind, lot of rings. It's 10 rings. There's 20 rings. Here's 24 rings. Still not enough. Come down another 2. 26 rings. 27 rings. Let's call this 27 rings. And also keep in mind, I'm going to also kind of start to tweak my ball guide just a little because I know it's really going to be affected by wind here. So like I mentioned, 27 rings, 28, somewhere in there. 22.5 plus that little offset that I did just because of wind effect. So 22.5 rings. And this is the type of stuff that you guys want to do. But also keep in mind, when we're going 22.5 rings, this is not an easy adjustment. So when we're talking about trying to, make more shots, it's going to be tough to do with Pro Ds. But I do want you to remember, it's not going to be out of the realm. Like every time that I'm, about to shoot, I expect to really give it a really good run. 22.5 here. And just a bit heavy. I mean, but look how close we are. 895, it's just like 1 to 2 tick marks, just too much. We just got to find that nice balance. But you can see we can get very aggressive. Ain't no reason we can't make it. So that's what you want to keep in mind with your guys' rounds, is you always want to give stuff a good run. Here's a really great opportunity here, so we're going to try to capitalize it. So we'll go, the extra ball, maybe even utilize some of these pins. This is a really good opportunity. I know, you guys just might be finally getting some of these to come in, but just being able to utilize a couple of these pins, little driver extra. This is one of the best pins, this driver extra here. We're just going to kind of get this up here because what it does is it changes the accuracy for your drive. But then for your wedge, you still have the normal club. So we get up here closer, 345. We're closer than we would have been otherwise. So look how far we were able to get this up here. And we can get very aggressive with this. And then keep in mind, this wedge, it's not going to have, and then all we got to do is we got to size up how far are we talking. Anything under 25 is good. It's not quite 25. It's in the 30s. So 32%. It's going to still need to be played. So 32%, like I mentioned, we're still going to need to adjust. 0.3 rings, 0.4 rings. Keeping that ball guide just a little bit short. Let's just see what this looks like visually, just so you guys can see. It's about a cup. So we're playing about a cup here. But only having to go a cup versus, twice as much, for example, it makes it that much closer for you guys to increase your score. So that's a perfect example of a hole that we were just able to get up there to really kill range. Like, with utilizing those pins, we're able to get up there very, very close. A very good opportunity. And why not? We'll try to blast this one as well. I don't think I'm going to make it, though. That's the problem. I'm not going to make it up to the range that we want. And as you guys can see, we're just blasting it up here. strategic player, they might go to like their, you know, Bigfoot range for this one. Since I haven't really mixed up my guides, I wanted to kind of do more of a Spectra shot here, because I think it would be cool for players to be able to see more mixed bag. But keep in mind, you know, if this isn't your favorite club, just avoid it. That's the best thing that I can say. So that's about 10 rings there for max. We're going to be coming in. What I'm going to try to do is just kind of change this ball guide. So if it's coming in like this, 9 rings for max, we're going to just try to shoot it backwards. Make it miss the pin. Something like this. 285. And you can see I'm intentionally keeping this ball guide to the right. And why do I do that? Because of wind effect. So you'll have to consider stuff like this as well. So 285, we're going to utilize this last ring. And watch this ball guide. Watch it change. See how it's shooting right back towards the pin? That's exactly what we're looking for, and we're able to get that double eagle. So there's Spectra 101 for you. Like I mentioned, it is a very hard hole to hole out. So, or very hard club to really get a feel for. It's going to take a lot of practice to be able to do that. That's not really the easiest shot to do. So do keep that in mind. But I just wanted to show you guys you know, that it is still possible. And what I recommend is having it in your arsenal. If you don't create ways for you to know that you have that shot in your arsenal, here's the problem that's going to happen, guys, is you'll get in a scenario where you didn't drive it to where you need, and then you won't be able to play that shot. So really being able to do that. And this is about 6 rings for min, so that's what we're setting up here. Have that shot in your arsenal just in case, you know, you do go outside your club range. Or if you're trying to get to that, you know, wedge or whatever, have that shot in your arsenal. It's the best advice that I have for you guys. And like I mentioned, you can see I'm tilting my ball guide just a little bit inside for this pull. So you can see that's exactly what I'm doing here. It's pointed just slightly to the left. And if this wind was straight, I wouldn't have to do it. But since it's a little bit tilted, we're going to utilize that pull angle concept and just tilt just ever so gently. And let's give this one a run. See how it looks. It's coming straight at the hole. Sure enough, there it is, a hole in one. So really good ability for you guys to really put up some low scores on this tournament. You know, if I can do it, you know, and you know, this isn't like the greatest score, but also keep in mind, I play very sparingly at this game. So being able to get into the 30s, if I was practicing, I'd be right there, 35, 36, 37 every time, just from extra rehearsal and practice. So again, you know, same kind of thing. Well, why not think about some of these pins? Driver and woods. This is a really great pin. It increases your top spin, increases your driver length, and then it still restores that wedge for you. Here you're going to see we're going to blast this up off the tee. And we're going to try to get up to this wedge range. I wanted to, you know, play these last couple holes aggressive just to show you guys what is and isn't possible in this game. It's really endless. You guys can shoot as low as you want to shoot. It's really, it's just about dedication. The guys that are, you know, elite players over here, they've been playing and practicing these setups for a very long time. And that's why they're to the point that they are at now. So we're going to play this very tight on the ball guide for this situation. It's in the 80s on the percentage. That's about 85, a little bit inside 85. $393. Might just slight over pull here. $396, $397, somewhere like that. Let's just see what this looks like. It's coming in. It looks real nice. It's in. So there's a nice hot finish for you guys. Wanted to show you, you know, especially with the balls, we can really get aggressive with this game. You know, we rattled off. I mean, look at that back nine just in general. Every single shot that I took on this side, even the par 3 there with the Pro D1 ball, we could still get very aggressive. You guys can go super low on these setups. It's really just going to be about shot execution, understanding the fundamentals of this game. I can't stress that enough, how important fundamentals are of this game. So, you know, thanks for supporting this content, guys. Pass this along to your friends. These tournaments, they're going to be happening every 2 weeks. This format is here to stay. So these are going to be bi-weekly events. It's going to be really exciting to see this concept over here because it's really going to help your country clubs grow as individuals, grow as well. And you're really going to be able to take your game to the next level. And that's what the goal of this is to really make it so everybody can start shooting lower and, you know, have players like me, Duff, you know, Jared, all the other guys. They're going to be able to teach you guys the fundamentals of the game and really improve your guys' scores. Thank you guys for joining in, tuning in. I will see you guys next time. Best of luck out there. Let me know how it goes in the comments. And take care, guys. See you guys later.